Greetings and felicitations.
Hip, hip, hurrah, tally-ho.
Hey, my little Georgia Peach.
Hey, Puddin'.
All right, we're going to open up this TV guide dated December 12th to 18th, 1970, and talk about the TV shows of 1970.
All right, let's get to it.
Well, first off, let's talk about some of the highlights of what was going on in 1970. What was life like back then? In fact, the cost of living. How much was the average home in America?
$26,000.
How about a new car?
$3,900.
What was the price of the average comic book?
15 cents.
How about a movie ticket?
$1.50.
In 1970, who was the Worldwide Wrestling Federation heavyweight champion?
Bruno Sammartino.
And the novel that was published that year that won the 1971 Hugo Award? What was it?
Ringworld by Larry Niven. Oh, that was excellent. I read that one.
Some highlights for the year of 1970 in television.
On January 3rd, John Pertwee makes his first appearance as the third Doctor in Doctor Who. The serial was Spearhead from Space. It also marks the first time that the series is broadcast in color.
And that's true. I always think of like the third Doctor rolling into the 70s. Like the timing of color and the third Doctor, I think, was perfect.
Yeah, it made the show all that much better and a whole different look for it. That getting a new Doctor and changing the color at the same time was perfect.
What happened on October 5th?
The Public Broadcasting Service, also known as PBS, in the United States began broadcasting, and the National Educational Television is shut down.
We grew up on PBS.
Yeah, I always thought PBS was great. I didn't realize it replaced something else back then.
Mm-hmm. We had some debuts this year. In fact, Josie and the Pussycats, UFO, that's a British science fiction show, and the Partridge Family. Those are some shows that we love that came out in 1970. So let's open up this issue of TV Guide. In fact, it has Ed Sullivan on the cover with the Muppets in the Christmas show. Well, there's an article in the front that's really interesting, and this shows how we're rolling into the 70s now, that movies have more swear words in it. Previously, they didn't. And so there's a dilemma. When you transfer the movie to television, what do you edit out and how do you edit things out?
This article was pretty interesting, and I know it's still an issue today. But yeah, it was interesting to find out that they do, like they don't, or back then even, they didn't really take out all of the cuss words, because if they thought that it was relevant or necessary, they would leave it in. But some of the words they wanted to take out, and they had to find creative ways to take them out because they want it to look seamless. They don't want it to look like it's been edited.
And obviously they have to edit it for television because of commercials as well. So it's layers of editing. And they said some movies that were coming in, they wanted to add additional scenes for television. And I remember later on when Superman was on television, watching it saying, I don't remember that in the movie theater, the fire scene. So remember Star Trek The Motion Picture, that's another one. It had different scenes for television than it did in the movie theater.
Yeah, they added scenes to it. And the thing is, I mean, nowadays they film extra scenes just so that they can add them in later, add them to the director's cut or whatever, add them to the DVD as separate cuts.
I didn't realize that it was happening that far back in the late 60s and early 70s, though.
It is amazing to see that. Now the thing is, they did not do a perfect job editing all the time, because I could tell on some of the shows, if I was very familiar with the movie and then watching it on TV, you do see times that something was censored. They opened their mouth and that's where they said damn, but that part got cut out. Things like that.
Sure, sure.
We do notice them on TV. They weren't always seamless when they cut these things out.
Rolf the dog here. No, really, this is Guy Gilchrist. I'm Jim Henson's cartoonist and all of that stuff. Rolf, get out. Rolf. I'm Bones on Star Trek. I actually just eat bones. Anyway, hey, this is Guy Gilchrist again. Rolf, get away. And whenever I feel like hearing about Barbara Eden and Raquel Welch, well, this wouldn't be the place to go. But, actually it would be, because they did some classic sci-fi too. When I like to listen to sci-fi stuff, I listen to StarPodLog. Now that is log, not frog. Okay. Hi, it's Guy. God bless you. Be kind to everyone, always.
And then there's an article that discusses the cover with the Muppets. I mean, we're big Muppet fans. We enjoy going to the Center of Puppetry Arts in Atlanta. And this is a collaboration between Ed Sullivan and these giant Muppets. I mean, they're huge. They have people inside them that were made especially for this Christmas special. These
were like monster puppets. They were big puppets that stood up. Like, they weren't really puppets. It wasn't like someone's hand inside of a face. I mean, it was actually the whole body.
And Art Carney was Santa Claus. I remember Art Carney being Santa Claus in a Twilight Zone episode, so curious casting him again. Like, why is he the go-to Santa Claus? I don't know.
He must have been good at it.
Now that mankind is on the threshold of the galaxies, a new hero has come forth to lead us into the future. Introducing the new G.I. Joe Astronaut. He has lifelike hair and talks the language of tomorrow.
10 seconds to lift off and counting.
Go with him on daring missions like the Flying Space Rescue. Get the new G.I. Joe Talking Astronaut and collect astronaut adventure sets. G.I. Joe Astronaut, now with lifelike hair, from Hasbro.
All right, now we know that TV Guide always starts out with the Saturday morning programs, and we love having cereal and watching cartoons. So here are some of the cereals that debuted in 1970. Hey, Cutie Pie, if I was your next-door neighbor, and I brought over some cereal, could we watch our cartoons together?
Sure.
All right, I'm going to tell you the choices, and you tell me which one to bring over. Bran and Prune Flake cereal.
Oh, I don't think so.
Cocoa Pebbles, Fortified Oat Flakes, King Vitamin, Love, that is Peter Max Swiss Mix cereal, Rally cereal, and Sugar Chex.
Cocoa Pebbles.
Cocoa Pebbles has been a standard now for, look at how many years. That's amazing. Over 50 years. Let's do it.
I mean, something like Vita King or whatever. Like,
my cousin liked that.
Really? It just sounds like it's made for the parents. It's something the parents want to buy for their children instead of something the children would want.
Yeah, that's how my mother was too. She'd buy Kix. I was like, I really want Fruit Loops. It has too much sugar in it. You're too wild as it is. I eat Kix. I think that's how King Vitamin was too.
Mm-hmm.
Right, now we're going to be reading from the New York Metropolitan Edition, which is great. Growing up in Connecticut, a lot of the shows or stations I'm very familiar with, such as Channel 11, WPIX. So 5:30 in the morning is The Modern Farmer. Nope, not watching that. We would get up a little bit later. Davy and Goliath is at 7:30, which I absolutely love. Anything claymation. 8 o'clock, Bugs Bunny Roadrunner, Heckle and Jekyll, Top Cat, or Sesame Street. What do you want to watch?
Bugs Bunny and Roadrunner?
That's fine. How about at 9 o'clock? Sabrina, Huckleberry Hound, Yogi Bear, Tomfoolery, Lancelot Link, Secret Chimp.
I think Sabrina. It's probably the one about the witch, right?
Yeah, I know you love Sabrina. 9:30 is the Connecticut Report. I've never heard of that before. 10 o'clock, Josie, Dr. Doolittle, Jerry Lewis. Sesame Street's on again. Sesame Street's on a lot for some reason. It's the new PBS, so I guess they're really changing the programming a bit, right?
Yeah, and pushing the kids'
educational
shows.
Stuff, yeah. I like Josie.
Yeah, Josie, yes, definitely.
That was a great show. 10 o'clock, the Globetrotters, Pink Panther. I would watch the Globetrotters. I saw them live once before.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, I would say the Pink Panther there. But I do remember, the Globetrotters, when they were the robots, that cartoon, that was neat, yeah.
How about this? 11 o'clock, Archie, H.R. Puffin-Stuff, Hot Wheels.
I always liked Archie.
Yeah, I'd watch that with you. Scooby-Doo, Hot Dog, The Hardy Boys.
What is Hot Dog? Is it a talking hot dog?
It
or what?
It says, for those who wonder how plywood is made, it's what it's like to ride an old-fashioned steam-driven train, how they make license plates,
Oh, never
how
mind.
sardines are packed. Yeah. But it has to do with Woody Allen and Jonathan Winters in there, so I guess it's some kind of educational show.
Must have been.
I kind of like I love Mr. Wizard. Anything that you're learning something about the world around you, I always found fascinating. But Hardy Boys, I was a huge
You
Hardy
also
Boys
said,
fan.
yeah, Scooby-Doo and Hardy Boys, probably
Yes.
both made along the same lines.
12:30, The Monkees. An American Bandstand was on. Gene Chandler receives a gold record and sings Simply Call It Love. Never heard of the guy. Have you?
No, but I mean, I would probably watch American Bandstand.
As the afternoon goes on, they have more programming that's repeat movies. Oh, there is on Channel 31 at 2:30, Astronomy. I'd watch a show on astronomy. I love those type of shows when I was a kid. Secret Agent is on at 4 o'clock.
Sounds good.
The Girl from U.N.C.L.E. at 4:30 on Channel 3.
That show didn't last long, did it?
It didn't.
It's nothing like The Man from U.N.C.L.E. No.
And right after that, at 5 was Man from U.N.C.L.E. Get Smart is on at 6 o'clock.
That was great. Yeah, see, I love all these spy shows, and the spy movies, too.
Yes. The Greek Hour is at 6 o'clock, as well as wrestling. Here's Lucy at 7 o'clock, and a repeat of I Love Lucy. When it came to the Lucy shows, nothing compared to I Love Lucy.
Yeah.
And I tried watching all of them.
But Lucille Ball was still hot at that time, so she still
Yes.
had all these shows.
7:30, Mission Impossible, with Leonard Nimoy as
his,
Paris.
His after Star Trek job.
He was great. He really was.
He was. Well, he left that show because he said the work wasn't challenging enough. But he still did a good job on it when he was on it.
The Fugitive is on at the same time. Let's Make a Deal, Addams Family. It would be hard to pick which ones. I mean, I think I go with Mission Impossible, though.
Or Addams Family.
F Troop at 8 o'clock. I used to wake up early in the morning to watch F Troop repeats on Channel 38. My Three Sons at 8:30.
Now, that was one of my shows.
How about Lawrence Welk?
I did watch it sometimes, yes.
See, I knew that this Lawrence, I could always picture in my mind. You could name a show, and I could tell you which day it was on in the original airing, because if I watched it at my grandparents' house, because I stayed over the weekends at my grandparents, I knew Lawrence Welk was a weekend show. Sure enough, 8:30, because they watched it. Mary Tyler Moore Show was on at 9:30. You a Mary Tyler Moore fan?
I never did watch that, but I probably would have liked it.
Oh, I watched it with my mother a lot. Ted Knight, she loved that guy. Mannix was on at 10 o'clock. I never watched the show, but I had the Viewmaster reels. That made a lot of sense. Sunday morning. Now, during this time, Sunday morning still had cartoons on it. Like, it was considered weekend cartoons. We know that within time that would ease away and it would be totally Saturday morning. But 7 o'clock in the morning starts out with Tom and Jerry. 7:30, Penelope Pit Stop. 8 o'clock, Yogi Bear. Popeye. 8:15, Gumby. Big Gumby fan. Anything by Art Clokey.
The thing is, I mean, on weekends, I really didn't get up that early. I mean, maybe at 8, but probably more like 9 when I got up.
Really? I remember my father making the comment saying, how can you kids can't get up for school, but you can get up for cartoons?
Really?
Johnny Quest was on at 10 o'clock. Roller Derby was on at 10:30. The Bay Bombers versus the Northeast Braves. I did like watching Roller Derby. Superman was on at 11 o'clock. It was the George Reeves Superman.
Oh, yeah, that was good too. Of course, we've already talked about it. I mean, they still had the Superman cartoon back then too.
Yes.
Yeah, and the Super Friends.
Flintstones at 11:30. Munsters. You said you liked Addams Family better than the Munsters?
Yeah, Addams Family was better. I liked Morticia.
Oh, she was great. Yale Cornell Hockey Sunday at 12:30 on WNHC TV, Channel 8. Yep, I used to go to Yale hockey games at Yale Arena. 5 o'clock, Man from U.N.C.L.E. This was on numerous times. 6 o'clock, The Saint. Simon Templar.
Well, they didn't really, have as many TV shows back then, but they still had to fill up the time slots.
They did.
So that's why they repeated a lot of shows.
Lassie at 7 o'clock. Lassie.
Another classic.
Invasion of the Body Snatchers, the 1956 version, was on at 7 o'clock. Go figure.
Oh,
we know
I know you like that one.
Years later, Leonard Nimoy would be in that.
In the remake.
Yes. Hogan's Heroes at 7:30. The World of Disney. It's tough to be a bird.
I bet it is. Just like it's tough to be green or anything different.
The Ed Sullivan Show highlights at 8 o'clock. If I Were a Rich Man. That was one of the first songs I learned to play in the school band on the trumpet.
That's neat. Could you play it now on the trumpet?
No. I don't remember any of that. Glenn Campbell at 9 o'clock. I loved Glenn Campbell when I was a kid. My mother made recordings of me singing Rhinestone Cowboy in Galveston.
Oh, that sounds neat. Yeah, I remember. I like Glenn Campbell too, and my parents liked him. So yeah, another big star in the 70s, country singer.
We're going to go into Monday, 7:30. It just says on Channel 5, Superheroes. It's a children's show. That's random. How do we know what superheroes? Popeye's on as well. And at 8 o'clock, Captain Kangaroo.
Wait, was that at night or in the morning?
In the morning.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Huckleberry Hound at 9:30. And they just keep playing Sesame Street. It's interesting that they number them. Like, it will say Sesame Street number 156. Sesame Street number 56.
Just to keep the episodes straight.
Yeah, they have all different numberings for them.
So,
and then it breaks down what each one is, how to play checkers, what the letters are, what numbers are going to be covered. Beat the Clock at 10:30, along with Beverly Hillbillies. Family Affair at 11 o'clock. Hollywood Squares at 11:30. Guests, Marty Allen, Jack Cassidy, Kathy Garver, Stu Gillian, David Hartman, and Karen Valentine. Also at 11:30, That Girl.
Yeah, that was one of my shows.
Mike Douglas Show at 12 o'clock noon. Jack Palance is this week's guest co-host.
I remember Jack Palance, too. He made a lot of movies.
Oh, yeah, he was. A lot of Western movies. And remember, he was on Ripley's Believe It or Not, too.
Yes.
The Dating Game. Did you watch that show?
Oh, yeah. The one with like one woman and three bachelors, and where she asks them questions when she can't see them. Yes.
And then remember later on they had something that it was kind of the same, but not really, called The Love Connection.
I might have seen it.
Dark Shadows was on at 4 o'clock. Divorce Court. 1970 had Divorce Court? That's unreal. I didn't know that.
That might have been a show that, was on and then it was off for a long time and then they brought it back. After all these other court shows got popular.
Probably. Miguel Gorilla. Were you a Miguel Gorilla fan?
No, didn't watch that one.
Here it is, Channel 11. 11 Alive at 4:30. Batman. Batman and Robin trapped the Mad Hatter. I loved watching Batman at 4:30.
Was this the Adam West Batman?
Yes. And 5 o'clock, Lost in Space on Channel 5.
Of course that was on.
Munsters at the same time. Gilligan's Island at 5:30. F Troop. Get Smart. I'm realizing a lot of these shows, they're just playing it every single night. I know I didn't watch Get Smart every night. I watched that periodically, even though it was in reruns a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I Love Lucy at 7 o'clock. I've probably seen every episode half a dozen times over. I mean, our family loved I Love Lucy.
Yeah, I watched it a lot. I mean, whenever it came on, I watched it. Now, you see what's missing here. What about Star Trek?
I was just going to say, at this time, 7:30. Because you remember I said dinner time I used to watch Star Trek?
Oh, it is here. Okay.
Here it is, 7:30, Star Trek on Channel 11. 11 Alive. Kirk, Uhura, and Chekhov land on an uncharted planet where they are shackled in collars and trained for mortal combat to amuse their mysterious captors. Kirk, William Shatner, Uhura, Nichelle Nichols.
That's
and the name
cool.
of that episode was...
Gamesters of Triskelion?
Of course. Carol Burnett Show on 10 o'clock. Christmas show guest Steve Lawrence. He was always a guest on a lot of shows. Lyle Wagner, Vicki Lawrence. You a big fan of Carol Burnett?
Yeah, I used to watch that show all the time. I mean, I remember the reruns when it was on TBS. I used to watch it then. And Lyle Wagner, before he did Wonder Woman.
Yes, yeah. Totally remember him, yeah. The Avengers on Channel 9. Just late night television. Tuesday evening, Dick Van Dyke Show, Beat the Clock. Mr. Rogers, Sesame Street number 132. I mean, it just kills me that they listed the production numbers in the TV guide.
And it sounds like that's the only show they did that for.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Rogers was a great show.
Yes.
I watched it for years.
It's curious that Mr. Rogers was on at nighttime, too. 7 o'clock, Jeannie.
Love Jeannie.
Beverly Hillbillies, Don Knotts Show. Now, that's something that did not last.
Mm-mm.
I need the combination of Don Knotts and Andy Griffith. Like, they were fantastic together.
Having a straight man with him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Don Knotts was also on Three's Company, and I loved him on that show, too.
That's right. That's right. Yes. Tuesday evening, Channel 11, Star Trek. Kirk jeopardizes his career and many lives to destroy a monster that lives on human red corpuscles. And the name of that episode?
Obsession.
There you go. See, it doesn't list the episode name in here.
Yeah,
You
I
have
know
to
it
know
doesn't.
it.
Yeah.
Green Acres at 8 o'clock. You're a Green Acres fan?
Yeah, I used to like Green Acres.
How about Hee Haw?
Yeah, I used to watch that with my parents.
Mm-hmm. They have a TV show called NYPD. It was a crime drama. I only remember NYPD Blue. I don't remember a show called NYPD in the early 70s. Do you?
No, I don't remember that one.
Robert Klein is the guest at 11 o'clock on the Johnny Carson Show. Wednesday evening, Gilligan's Island, Sesame Street number 133. Do you remember episode number 133? They were going to cover the letters A, B, and X. And the numbers 4 and 5.
Yes.
All right, ready? Channel 11, Star Trek. The Enterprise assumes the role of an antibody as it penetrates a one-celled organism 11,000 miles long.
Immunity syndrome.
Of course.
Wasn't that a great one with Spock and McCoy?
I loved it, yeah.
Yeah.
There are so many, even the ones that weren't considered the stellar ones, I liked them a lot.
Yeah, still had something good about them.
It totally did. Like you said, Obsession, I loved that episode.
Yeah, great. Another great character study, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you never see it on a top 10 list, but I would rewatch it over and over again. 9 o'clock, The Johnny Cash Show. Guests include Al Hurt and singers Jackie DeLaShannon, Hank Snow, Homer and Jethro, June Carter, Carl Perkins, the Carter Family, the Statler Brothers, and the Tennessee Three. Perry Mason was on, too. Love Perry Mason. Hawaii Five-0 at 10 o'clock.
Wow. Yeah, that's another one I watched with my parents.
Mm-hmm.
And they got that back. They've done a remake of that.
I never watched it, did you?
Yeah. Yeah, saw it a few times. It's pretty good.
Joe Franklin Show at 1:15 in the morning. Believe it or not, my brother and I sometimes would stay up late at night and watch the Joe Franklin Show.
Okay.
It was so strange. It was this guy that had guests that I think a lot of them were has-beens or little knowns. It was just a weird show. It was just a strange talk show. Thursday evening, The Daisies. Have you ever heard of that comedy show?
No.
Me neither. And when they say Jeannie, it doesn't say I Dream of Jeannie. It just says Jeannie.
Yeah, I wonder what that is. Well, some shows they did change the name in syndication. Like Happy Days became Happy Days Again, something like that. I mean,
really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Huh. All right. Ready? 7:30, Channel 11. The Enterprise runs into problems during a visit to a planet whose culture is patterned after Chicago's gangland society of the 20s.
A piece of the action.
That's right.
Another great episode.
Mm-hmm. Bewitched at 8:30. The Odd Couple at 9:30. Loved The Odd Couple. We'd stay up late at night and watch that with my mother. Friday evening, 7:30, Channel 11, Star Trek. Kirk tries to outwit colonizers from Andromeda, who assume human form to seize the Enterprise for their 300-year journey back to home.
By any other name?
That's right. Or so looking at these episodes, were they recast in order?
Yeah, it sounds pretty much in order, because I think they were
We're
all
at the second season. Yes.
Yeah.
Partridge Family's on at 8:30. So it was a Friday night show. Were you a Partridge Family fan?
Oh, yeah, loved it. And had a crush on David Cassidy. Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, see, and I liked his sister, and I never had a crush on any of the Brady Bunch girls, but that's right, Lori, yeah. I thought she was beautiful. Yeah. And I remember thinking that bus was so cool.
Yeah, the bus was neat looking too. Yeah, all the colors. I mean, very 70s, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, great reminiscing about television shows that we love from 1970. Unfortunately, there were some shows that ended in 1970 that we have to say goodbye to, that we enjoyed, such as
Get Smart, I Dream of Jeannie, and the Spider-Man cartoon. Yeah, those were some great shows, but, they had to end sometime. And they had a pretty good run.
Thanks for listening. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and join our Facebook group. Live long, and may the Force be with you. Nanu Nanu.